Discover the silent struggles and rediscover the strength within. They say men are supposed to be strong, stoic, unshakable, emotionless. We learn this not through gentle teaching, but through pressure. Heavy, silent, and ever-present. It starts early, embedded in how we're spoken to, how we're looked at, how we're judged. A quiet law echoes through the hallways of homes, locker rooms, workplaces, and backyards. A rule that whispers, you must be more than human. You must be a man. But what does that even mean? For many, it means carrying burdens that were never ours to begin with. Smiling when we're quietly falling apart. Providing when we ourselves feel empty. Pretending like everything's fine, when inside we're breaking piece by piece. This is the invisible weight men are conditioned to carry, and it's time we talk about it. Section 1. Early imprints. The programming begins from the moment. A boy stands on his own 2 feet. The world starts whispering rules into his ears. Don't cry. Stand tall. Be a man. These aren't lessons in strength. They're instructions in emotional suppression. They don't cultivate resilience. They teach denial. A scraped knee becomes a test of toughness. Tears are treated like crimes. Sadness is met with mockery or dismissal. And so the message becomes painfully clear. Emotions are dangerous. Vulnerability is weakness. And weakness is failure. What does a boy do with that? He builds armor, not of steel, but of silence. He learns to laugh when he wants to cry, to work when he wants to rest, to endure when he desperately needs to feel. And the most tragic part? He doesn't even realize he's doing it. He just becomes what he thinks he has to be. Section 2. The perfect image. Trap. The modern man lives inside a trap made of images. Scroll after scroll, we're flooded with pictures of perfect men. Alpha males, hustlers, shredded gym bodies, flawless dads, rich entrepreneurs. The world screams, if you're not winning, you're losing. And so we wear the mask. We share the wins. We hide the rest. We lift heavier weights, not for health, but because we're scared of what it means to put them down. Yet the truth remains. The weight is crushing us. And while the world applauds our strength, no one stops to ask if we're actually okay. Section 3. Internalizing the expectations. The pressure doesn't just come from outside. We take it in, swallow it, and make it our own. We start to believe that our worth is tied to what we produce, that respect must be earned through sacrifice, that love only comes through achievement. So we hustle harder, stay longer, carry more. And when we reach our limits, we don't pause or seek help. We question our value. We blame ourselves for not being enough. This is the myth we've been sold, that masculinity is conditional, that it must be earned and proved daily. But that's not strength. That's a lie. A dangerous, convincing lie. Section 4. Silence becomes a lifestyle. Silence starts as a defense mechanism, but it doesn't end there. It becomes a lifestyle. A boy stays quiet out of fear. A teenager stays quiet to fit in. A man stays quiet because he was never given permission to speak. And over time, silence doesn't just protect you, it imprisons you. You don't talk when you're hurting. You don't share when you're lost. You don't reach out even when you're drowning. Until one day, you forget what your own voice even sounds like. Section 5. When appearances are everything from the outside, everything looks fine. You're showing up. You're working hard. You're at the gym. You're laughing, joking, paying the bills. But what they don't see is the spiral at night, the panic you can't name, the questions that haunt you in the silence. Is this all there is? Who even knows the real me? This split between how you appear and how you feel is what leads so many men to a quiet breaking point, because it's not the weight that breaks you, it's carrying it alone. Section 6. The man who has it all and feels nothing. There's a man, maybe you know him, maybe you are him. He has the job, the house, the family, he's done everything right, but he feels nothing. Achievements feel empty. The house feels cold. The mirror reflects a stranger, and he wonders, why? Why do the victories feel so hollow? Why do the dreams he chased bring no peace? It's not failure. It's a sign that something deeper has been missing all along. Purpose, presence, and the permission to just be real. Section 7. Strength. Redefined. Real strength isn't how much you can carry, it's knowing when to ask for help. It's having the courage to say, I'm not okay. It's choosing truth over performance. Letting go of who the world told you to be so you can finally become who you really are. Masculinity isn't about dominance. It's about depth. It's about presence. About creating space to feel, to rest, to connect, not just with others, but with yourself. Section 8. The first step. Back to yourself. The path back to purpose doesn't start with a breakthrough. It starts with honesty. Honesty about what hurts, what feels fake, what you've buried. That honesty opens the door to awareness. Awareness leads to choice, and choice makes healing possible. Healing isn't flashy. It's slow. It looks like quiet mornings, difficult conversations, sitting still with emotions you've run from for years, letting someone finally see the real you, and maybe, for the first time, you seeing yourself too. Closing reflection, Chapter 1. End. Every man carries a story, most of it untold, most of it invisible. But here's the truth that's long overdue. You don't have to carry it alone. You were never meant to. And maybe, just maybe, your greatest strength isn't in surviving silently, but in speaking honestly, in showing up fully, in letting go of perfection and choosing to be real. Because you don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You just have to be true to yourself. Section 9. The unseen grief of men. There's a kind of grief men carry that rarely gets named. It's not always tied to losing someone. It's tied to losing parts of ourselves. Lost dreams, lost innocence, lost light. Every time we swallowed pain just to stay strong, we buried a part of who we were. Every time we gave up our needs to fulfill a role we never chose, we experienced a silent kind of death. And because the world doesn't name this grief, we mistake it for weakness, failure, or flaw. But it's grief, and it deserves space. Only by acknowledging what's been lost can we begin to reclaim who we are. Section 10. The father wound. And generational silence. Many men carry wounds from their fathers, wounds shaped not only by what was said, but by what was missing. A father's absence, his silence, his impossible expectations. We mistake discipline for love, silence for strength, approval for worth. And unless we face that blueprint, we repeat it, passing it down without realizing. Breaking that cycle doesn't start with blame. It starts with a question. What did I need as a boy that I never received? And then choosing to give that to yourself now, and one day, to your own sons. Section 11. The crisis of comparison. Comparison sneaks in with every swipe, scroll, and highlight reel. We compare our mess to someone else's masterpiece. We see men who made it and feel like we're falling behind. But you can't compare two paths that were never meant to be the same. Your timeline is yours. Your worth isn't measured in income, abs, or followers. It's measured in integrity, alignment, and growth. Things no photo will ever capture, but things that define who you truly are. Section 12. The hidden impact of emotional starvation. Most men are emotionally starved and don't even know it. No one ever asked how they really feel, not just about stress or work, but about themselves, their inner world, their dreams. That starvation shows up as fatigue, numbness, or quiet rage, because the heart, when ignored long enough, begins to shut down. Healing starts when we name that hunger, when we say, I deserve to be seen, I deserve connection, I deserve to feel. Section 13. The lie of self-sufficiency. We've been told that real men don't need anyone, that needing help makes you less masculine. That lie creates isolation, burnout, and quiet suffering. But no one was meant to go it alone. Not even the strongest among us. Real leadership isn't lonely. It's connected. It's knowing when to say, "I've got me, but I still need support." Because strength isn't in isolation. It's in interdependence. With boundaries, with respect, and with truth. Section 14. The Mirror. Test. When was the last time you really looked at yourself? Not your reflection, but your soul? We spend years building our outer image, careers, muscles, possessions, but rarely do we ask, do I recognize the man in the mirror? What does he long for? What does he fear? What brings him joy beyond obligation? That kind of introspection is terrifying, but it's also where freedom lives, because when you truly see yourself, flaws and all, you stop performing and you start transforming. Section 15. The purpose beyond the pain can crush you, or it can open you. What if all the pain you've endured wasn't meant to break you, but to wake you up? Your pain carries a message. The heartbreaks, the failures, the doubts, the isolation. Each one is a call to return to yourself. Purpose isn't something you chase, it's something you remember. It doesn't live in applause, it lives in silence, in the quiet voice that says, "You're here for more." Every man carries a story, most of it untold. If any part of this spoke to you, you're not alone. Let's break the silence together. Drop a comment. What's one silent struggle you've carried that you wish more people understood? Like and share. If you believe it's time to redefine strength and support each other, hit that like button and share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Subscribe for more honest conversations about real masculinity, healing, and purpose. Subscribe and join a community where being real is the new strong.